Hi guys, it's me Samantha here today with a video on my last 2 months of purchases. So I know some people do some videos like this on YouTube with their monthly reviews and giving kind of their final thoughts. So I'm going to call this my final thoughts. But I like to play with my makeup a little bit longer and really get a feel. And some of these things I've gotten more recently, so in the closer and more in like the 30-day mark, that I have definite feelings about, some that I'm still kind of playing with, and I'll kind of let you know what the deal is with each thing. Let's just get started because there's a lot of stuff. Like summertime was really heavy with makeup releases, and there were so many products being released, and August was insanity. September was a lot tamer, but altogether it looks crazy. I just want to talk about a few things that I haven't actually played with, but I did receive in the end of September. Not receive, I purchased the Too Faced Pumpkin palette. I haven't even taken it out of the box to look at it yet. This is something that I was considering filming with, but I feel like there's so many videos out there. I'm not sure if anybody is really interested. If you are, please be sure to put a comment below and I could play with this and show you guys how it looks, especially on my darker complexion. So this was something that I purchased that I haven't been able to play with. I also did take this out of the box out of excitement, but I do have the Pat McGrath Celestial palette, Divinity Celestial palette. Yeah. I was really excited. I ordered this as the day that it was coming out, and I'll show you the inside, but I haven't yet to play with it. I do want to make a video with this, but I haven't done that yet because I've just been holding on to it all week long. I don't know what's taking me so long, but yes. Another thing that I got at the end of September that I haven't played with is the Glam Light what was this called? Ice cream palette, and it comes in this giant packaging that you can definitely get rid of, but it's so damn adorable that I really haven't been able to do that yet. The palette does come out of the ice cream truck, and I will show you what it looks like. It has little sprinkles in it, and it's a larger palette. I'm not typically a fan of a larger palette, but I'll get into more information on, like, basically I purchased the donut palette to get my first taste of Glam Light because I really wanted the cake palette, but I just couldn't get myself into the larger palette situation. So they came out with the donut palette, which is so cute. It comes in a legit donut box, and it's basically a more condensed version of the cake palette. I'm gonna take it out. It's like legit like a puffy donut with a mirror and then the shades, and so it was kind of a more condensed version of the cake palette. I went with this. I tried it. It's amazing. I did not film with this. If you're interested in me using this in a video, please let me know below. I just don't want to be too repetitive because YouTube has so much content on there. But if you want my personal opinion on something, or you want to see something on my particular skin tone, because I know that I'm like in the in-between, like tan to medium tan dark skin tone, yeah, if you're interested in watching me use this, let me know, along with the ice cream palette. So I fell in love with the donut palette, and when they released the ice cream palette, I had to jump on it, regardless as to the sides. And it's lots of pastels, but also she gives you some neutrals and deeper tones in here. So I'm really excited to play with this. I have yet to do so. Yeah, so it's super cute. Giant packaging. I put this in my Impressions vanity in the center, kind of by itself with my laptop, and it fits in there. I'm gonna keep it like that as long as I possibly can. Eventually I may throw away the ice cream truck, but I just don't have the heart to do it now. But I do need to play with that. So getting into stuff that I've used and that I haven't done videos on either. This was the Killer Queens Cosmetics Ouija palette. I will say I've used the palette and it's really, really stunning color scheme. Probably one of my favorite color schemes that I've seen this year. The quality is decent, a little better than decent. It kind of reminds me of like a Juvia's Place type of deal, but I was really, really disappointed with the customer service. There was an extreme delay, and I tried to be a little bit more forgiving because it is a small Latina-owned company. But even when I just messaged them to kind of get an idea of when my palette would ship, they kept telling me, like, you know, it wasn't their responsibility. They handed it over to the postal service, but when I checked the tracking, it just looked like a label was made and that the postal service actually hadn't received it yet. So there was 2 messages that I sent them, and they basically were telling me like, oh, the postal service has it and you're just gonna have to wait till when they get it. We're not responsible for anything else. And then I had to, like, I hate saying this because, like, I feel really bad, but it was like $52, and I am not a fancy YouTuber with lots of money. I'm a mom of 3. I work a full-time job. My money has value, right? And $50 is a lot of money for me to just forget about. And I had to do like a PayPal claim because I was like, if I'm not going to receive my palette, like, I want my $50 back. And they were not, like, they changed their website to say no refunds after the purchase had already been made, and so forth and so on. So anyways, needless to say, they ended up sending me the palette and didn't refund me, which is fine. And I think for them, that's probably better. It's a small business. It's probably cheaper for them to send me the palette again than it is to refund me the money. And I felt really, really horrible about it. And the quality of the palette itself is really, really good. I hope that they can kind of get their act together a little bit more, because I would purchase if I knew somehow that it was going to be a little bit better experience. Again, the like color story is absolutely stunning and perfect right now for like the fall and even the winter months. Like, you can get a really nice smoky glam look here. But yeah, I just did not have a great experience purchasing the palette from them. Another palette that I struggled to get my hands on was the Be Perfect Carnival 3 palette. I think I put myself on that special whatever wait list for the opening day, and I just could not get my hands on it. Like, it was just so slow on the website. And then I tried the second time they released it, and then finally on the third time I actually got my hands on it. This is another giant palette, but it's actually probably my first true rainbow palette. Actually, that's a lie, because I have the Violet Voss Flamingo palette, but besides that, this has like every color you could think of. Quality of the shadows are amazing. I wish they had smaller palettes like this. I think the packaging is gorgeous. This is a collab with a Stacey Marie, which I don't follow her or anything like that, but obviously she does a really amazing job picking a color scheme. So yeah, I loved the quality of this palette. It was definitely worth the wait. I would purchase again from Be Perfect. I'm really curious about their highlighters, but the other thing is, like, you're paying a lot of money for shipping because they are, like, I think in Ireland, so they're not a US based company, so you're gonna pay extra for shipping. But anyways, moving on, the Artemis palette, I did do a video on this when it came out, comparing it to the Natasha Denona Metropolis palette. I think this is a really good palette. especially for the price point. I think it was like $23. If you don't want to spend the money on Natasha Denona, definitely pick this up. I've used this twice. This is the Charlotte Tilbury Bejeweled Hypnosis palette. I love this galvanized metal. The color story is a really pretty neutral palette with a couple pops of color. You got a red in there, a purple in there, and lots of golden bronzy brown colors. I think this is a beautiful palette. I did not get the Natasha Denona bronze palette, and I feel like you don't really need to. There's only so many shades of bronze that you need, and this could give you that plus a few extra colors. I don't think you need like 12 shades of brown. But anyway, Huda Beauty. I picked these up in the end of September. This is not a new palette, but I just didn't have it. I haven't even taken it out of the package, but I did purchase, I'm going to try to speed up a little bit because there's a lot of stuff. The Khaki Haze palette. I think I tried to film with this. I can't remember if like my kids were screaming too much in the background or what happened, but this is what it looks like. It's really, really beautiful neutral palette. I usually don't go for neutrals, but I just love the grunginess of this palette. I think it's really decent quality. Huda Beauty doesn't have my absolutely favorite formula, but I do have quite a few of her palettes just because they're really reliable palettes. You know, I guess for some people they're a little hit and miss, but I feel like they work decent. Like if you want something you know can work for you, you can get this. And I love that they're really compact, and this is great for travel. So if you're going anywhere, you don't have to carry, you know, a big palette or worry about them breaking. You can get something small like this and take it with you. I'm trying to figure out like where to go next. There's just too much. Let's talk about BH Cosmetics. I feel like I purchased too much from them this summer. I ordered 3 of the Shopee palettes, and I'm really sad that I didn't get all of them. I have the Orange Sorbet, the Cherry on Top, and the Cotton Candy ones. These are absolutely stunning. I will quickly open them for you just because maybe you haven't seen them enough all over the internet. They literally broke the internet. Their formula is so good. I think that these palettes really finally gave them the spotlight that they deserved. I pretty much went absolutely crazy and purchased like all of these palettes as well from them this summer, and it all started really with the Saint Tropez one that made me go gaga for them. I ended up buying the Trending in Tokyo, which is a rainbow palette. I don't think this one is a good representation of the other ones. This is the only one that I felt like was a miss. You could definitely skip out on this palette. I think the shimmers were just too hard pressed into the pans, and you just kind of really, like you can see in this lime one, I really had to like dig in there to get it, and it just didn't give that shimmery look that the other palettes given. This is the Smitten in Switzerland. This is a gorgeous fall time palette. It has like burgundies, dark blue, grungy earth tone type of colors, and I think it's really beautiful. I would never really use any of these light shades here, but if you're of a fair complexion, you might like those. The Avocado palette I think is the absolute perfect fall palette for any skin tone. It is stunning. There's really only 2 really light shades in here, but they still show up on my skin tone, and I absolutely love this palette. And then I recently purchased these 2, the Blueberry and the Belgian Waffles. I kind of had an idea this wasn't really going to work for me too much. The highlighters are absolutely beautiful. It's just they don't have a bronzer that really shows up on my complexion. These might show up on me like in the dead of winter, January and February, and I might play with it a little bit more as far as the bronzer goes. The highlighters are really stunning. They give you like almost like a wet look, which I think is really stunning. And last but not least for BH Cosmetics is the Blueberry Muffin palette. I did film a video with this. I have not edited yet together, and who knows how that's going to be, because I'm pretty sure I could hear my husband screaming at the kids in the background, and it's so painful sometimes editing videos when there's so much noise to cut out. But this is probably my second favorite palette from them. Obviously, I fell in love with Saint Tropez, which I purchased months and months ago, but since then I think I actually like, these are my two favorite ones, the avocado one and the blueberry muffin. The ice cream collection ones are gorgeous, and I kind of, from a collector's point of view, wish I had all of them, but they're not my absolute favorite just because they're so monochromatic. You can't come up with too many looks with them. You kind of need a companion palette with it, but if you were looking for something that was a one-hit kind of thing, I would highly recommend those two. Here we go, we got some more. Shein. Shein was a purchase that I think I actually made in July, but I filmed it and started playing with these products in August, and I love this palette. The mattes are not the most perfect matte in the world, but they're doable. The stars of this palette really are the shimmers. They're extremely glittery, and I absolutely love that. If you're looking for like sparkle for days, then I would definitely go with this, and I didn't have any issues really with fallout, so this was a hit. It's a $6 palette, and there's coupons all over the place for Shein. So yeah, and the packaging is cute and sturdy. It's a little thick. She's a little thick. That's all right. I don't mind that. Also, I think I purchased a mascara, and I don't know where that is, but it was okay. It wasn't great, but I mean, it was super cheap. This blush, it's kind of a dupe for the NARS liquid, I think Orgasm. Beautiful. I bought this like contour bronze stick. I don't love this. You could use this with like maybe an oil to make it a little bit more smooth, but the color is absolutely beautiful. I just wish it wasn't so stiff. Like right now that went on pretty smooth, but I felt like I used it twice, and both times it felt like kind of like I had to, like, I don't know, it was stiff. It's the best way I could describe it. The lipstick that I purchased was decent. It's a great basic lipstick. It's nothing special. I liked the packaging. I really like the little magnet on it. I think that's a nice touch. So inexpensive, and the packaging is really cute. This blush right here, I actually didn't initially want to use this at all because I felt like it looked a little chalky when I just like swatched it, but I have to say that it looks kind of pretty on the skin. It's not my favorite. I could easily declutter this, but it wasn't as bad as I thought it was gonna be, and I think this was like $4 and I paid like $2 for it. So I mean, I'm gonna give this to my 5-year-old to play with, but I mean, it wasn't the worst blush I've ever used. But I was highly impressed with this blush from She Glam. This is the Smoked Rose blush. I think this goes on beautiful. The packaging is beautiful. It blended out nicely. It's a matte blush. I will say the other one was more of a shimmer, but yeah, I really enjoy this. I'm gonna hold on to that one for sure. Let's talk about palettes a little bit more. This was a Makeup Revolution Smokes and Mirror palette. This is not a new release by any means, but it's new to me, and I think this is a beautiful blue palette. It's their Baked Shadow formula, and I think this is really good. Highly recommend that. Like, this peachy shade is stunning. I don't know if you can like see that. It's so pretty. Yeah, so I didn't get my hands on the BH Cosmetics blue, I don't know what they called it, but it was the blue palette, but I did end up getting this, and I was really happy with this, so I don't feel like I missed out too much with blue. And then I did buy the Ace Beauty Nostalgia palette. I think this palette is really, really pretty. I just actually, when I received it and I used it, I think the quality is amazing. I don't feel like this is my favorite color scheme from them. This is not my favorite palette from Ace Beauty. But if you're looking for something more colorful and you like their other palettes, I think this is good because it does give you kind of a variety. It just isn't my favorite Ace Beauty palette, but it is a very good palette, if that makes sense. This is another palette. I've never used Sigma before, this palette, and I love this. And I also really love the brush. I've never purchased anything before this purchase from Sigma, and I actually really wasn't initially very interested in this color scheme because I just felt like it was a little basic. But I do think this is a pretty palette. It's nice for if you're in a rush in the morning. I found that I really like to use this for work because I can easily look at this palette and just see like little quads and easily come up with a quick look to run out the door and get to work. And I know I'm not going to look too over the top because I have a tendency to just go crazy with the color. So this palette is beautiful. The formula is gorgeous, and it's a great everyday palette. I think it's really, really good. And if you want to take it a little smoky and go there, there's a nice black. You can deepen up any color in here. I also purchased this gloss from them in the shade Passionate. I used this once. It's not my favorite gloss. I don't particularly love the brush on it. Like, I think that's weird. I can't even remember the last time I used a brush one. The color is pretty. It's just not my favorite. I'll swatch it. And their formula is a little sticky. It's kind of a basic gloss. And there it is right there. It looks a little bit more purpley in the bottle, and it looks a little more burgundy on the lips. But it is very pretty. It's kind of basic for a gloss, and I'm not excited about the brush applicator. So some drugstore stuff I picked up. I really wanted to try L'Oreal because everybody else is doing it, and I was feeling kind of like the FOMO. But anyway, all right, so I tried the L'Oreal Serum Foundation, and I tried the Radiant Concealer, the Lumi Bronze in the shade Medium 2, and then I bought the Radiant Satin Blush in Peony. The blush and the bronzer have glitter, and I hate that. They have straight glitter in it. I thought at first it might have been like an overspray situation. The bronzer I can get with a little bit more than the blush because I use a big fluffy brush, and I think I kind of dust away most of the glitter when I use the bronzer, so it looks okay. I can live with the bronzer. It's a little chalky on my skin tone right now, but I'm thinking I might try it again in the winter and give it another try. The blush I hate. It's a no-go. The foundation looks beautiful on the skin, but it makes me extremely, extremely oily, and then I have to powder if I don't want to have my oils breaking through. And I particularly don't love to powder my foundation. I want to look as natural as possible, so having to add powder for me is kind of a con, and it just is too oily. It doesn't last even the workday. The concealer, though, I will say I absolutely love this. I got it in the shade Caramel Beige, and I think this is a win for sure. Oh, I also purchased with Sigma the eye primer in the shade Ignite, and I really, really love this. This is up there with my favorite primers for sure. It doesn't last as long as my e.l.f. Putty Primer or my Urban Decay Primer Potion, but this is probably like falls right behind those two. So it's pretty up there. I did also try the L'Oreal True Match Color Corrector in the shade Orange. I have the Bisque one, but I was finding that because I was so tan, my dark circles were darker. The Bisque one wasn't working quite as well as it did previously in the winter and spring. So I purchased the orange one, and I do really, really like this. I think their color correctors are really, really good. If you haven't used them, I'd highly, highly recommend. I also purchased the Becca color corrector in the medium deep, and this actually was more like the Bisque shade, the medium shade of the L'Oreal color corrector. Very similar in tone. It gives a nice illuminating effect under the eye, but I don't quite feel like it actually covers up anything, and it's a little bit too emollient. So if you're prone to creasing under the eye, or you feel like sometimes your makeup moves around a little bit under there, I don't think this is great. Yeah, especially for the price. I think you can just get the L'Oreal color correctors and this would be great for you. It's, you know, it's creamy, it goes on easily, but it's not so creamy that it's going to move around. It's stiff enough that it's going to stay in place, and it does a really good job color correcting. So if I had to choose between the two, it would be this. I also purchased about, oh, I forgot. I also bought this, I think, yeah, L'Oreal Paris mascara. I got a waterproof one because I do like waterproof mascara, because I do tend to get oily eyelids, and so my under eyes will get oily. My mascara will rub all over the place. I really like the wand on this. This is really good for creating length. I don't think it does so much for volume, and I'm not sure that the claims said so. So I think this is okay. It's really good for bottom lashes and like layering on the top lash line. And then I purchased about 50 million Juvia's Place lipsticks. And for a matte formula lipstick, I really do like this. But more than the formula, I just love the shades. If they came out with a typical cream lipstick in these shades, I would go bonkers. But they are really nice for a matte formula lipstick. I'm not going to complain because I really enjoyed them. The colors, though, are the like star of the show. And then the other thing that I love even more than the lipstick really is the Juvia's Place gloss in the shade Caramel Rose. This is phenomenal. It's a gloss with beautiful slip. It is not sticky. It is extremely opaque. The color in the bottom is what it's going to look like on your lips. It's not going to be a milky wash of color. This is actually going to be the color. It's like a creamy liquid lipstick. And I don't care about like my lipstick transferring on my coffee mug. I like the color and I like the comfort of this, and I love the packaging. So I keep the packaging because literally the inside has this gorgeous cute little pattern. And I mean, I just love Juvia's Place for stuff like that. It's so cute. I also bought they had like a sale. They've had nonstop sales. This highlighter from them. It's the Baked Highlighter in the shade The Heroine's Glow 1. I like this highlighter a lot. I hate the packaging. It's cardboard and it's stiff and it's bulky, and yeah, I hate the packaging. I love the product inside. And then I bought their stick foundation. I wasn't really interested in their regular foundation because it's described as matte, and I'm not a huge fan of matte foundations, but I tried this foundation in Dominicana and it is a perfect shade match. I love it. It's super easy in the morning when I'm going to work. I just boop boop boop, take a brush, buff it out, and I'm good to go. And I like it. I like it. I also wanted to talk about my favorite discovery this summer was the Maybelline lifter glosses. I have 6 of, I think, 9 shades that they had. This is my favorite lip product. I feel like it is risen straight to the top. It is a beautiful hydrating lip gloss that has a gorgeous slippery texture, and it is not sticky. The colors are super cute, and I think everybody should buy this. If you buy nothing else in this video whatsoever, purchase this. They're like $7. You can buy them at Target, Walmart, wherever, and they're literally the best thing ever. I also purchased this Kosas trio when Sephora had that welcome back set. One of them's in my purse. I think this is a really nice gloss, although I still think the Tower 28 is better than this, and I also think the Maybelline lifter gloss is better than those. I wish even the lifter gloss comes out with some more adventurous colors, because oh my god, they would be they would be like tearing up Sephora, because like Target and Walmart would be killing it. And then you guys are like, this is absolutely crazy how much shit I have here. But I also purchased the NYX, what is this called? High Glass Powder. I really like this. I tried to get this a really long time ago when I purchased the actual highlighter, and it was sold out. So this is the finishing powder, and I thought it was going to be a little too glittery on the skin. It doesn't have any glitter in it. Then I was worried it was going to be too shiny, because, you know, you're putting shimmer powder, shiny powder all over your face. It's stunning. It's beautiful. It's literally climbed its way to the top. The Flower Beauty one that I love, the Jouer Hydrate and Set, and this one, like, these are like it quickly went to the top for my pressed powders for sure. And then I wanted to talk about, I've kind of been putting it off in this video, talking about the Pat McGrath Rose Decadence Mothership palette or whatever. I did a video on this and I felt very blah. I felt like it's not a horrible palette, but for the hype that Pat McGrath gets and the amount of money, I paid $65 for 6 shadows. It was not worth it. And so I did purchase the new Celestial Divinity palette, hoping that it's the normal Pat McGrath formula. I was hoping that this was just like some kind of crazy situation where it just wasn't the normal quality, and hoping that the other one is going to be what everybody says Pat McGrath is, because if it's not, I'm not going to purchase Pat McGrath anymore. It's just, yeah. Even the mini palettes though, I do have the 2 little mini palettes from her, because those always go on sale for like $14 at Sephora. Like, you got to keep your eye on it. Those are better quality than this. So I'm hopeful that the Celestial one is going to be better, but I wasn't that impressed with this palette. I will use it. It's not horrible, but I just don't feel like, it's not like when I use Natasha Denona, like you instantly see why you're paying the higher price tag. I didn't get that from the Pat McGrath. And I also have 3 of her lip fetish balm shine things. I have Flesh 3, Nude Venus, and Temptress. I think my favorite one was Temptress, which is like a berry tone. Venus Nude was actually nicer than I thought it would be. And then I have Flesh 3, which I thought was going to be my favorite, but it wasn't. These are okay. I think the YSL ones are better, and even the Revlon Color Riche, is that what they're called? Or like L'Oreal Color Riche or the Revlon Lip Shines or whatever, they're all better than this. I wouldn't pay that much money for their lip products ever again either. Elf. I tried this Elf foundation and it was bomb. So yeah, I got it in the shade Caramel. I'm gonna have to get another shade from when I'm a little bit lighter. It has a pump, it has a glass frosted bottle, it's cute, and the finish was beautiful. It wore really well all day long, and I'm highly impressed with that. I only have like 3 more things to talk about, I promise. One being these little guys, the Marc Jacobs. I bought this in the welcome back sale as well. I haven't used these, so I don't have an opinion on that. Let's get that out of the way. I did purchase also the Sephora Clean Glowing Skin Foundation. I think this is really good. The color is just a tad off. It's a little bit more neutral. It's the perfect shade as far as like tone, but the undertone is a little bit neutral for me. I can get away with this. It's not my favorite, but it's not bad, and it's like $20. It's a clean product. If you are curious about clean makeup, go on Sephora. They have a whole situation and explanation on what they consider as clean makeup. And then lastly, I wanted to talk to you guys about Rare Beauty. I think this is everything I purchased from them. The foundation, it's okay. It's not my favorite. I thought it was going to be like a more inclusive skin tone version of my Physician Formula Skin Elixir. It's not. It's just too hydrating if you have oily skin. If you have normal to dry skin, you're going to love this foundation. If you have oily skin, it only looks good when I powder. And like I said with the L'Oreal Serum one, I don't like to powder. If I had to choose between these two, because I will say this was kind of pricey for a drugstore one, I'm going to go with the Rare Beauty. It is a lot prettier than this one. I think because this has sunscreen in it, it's a little bit balmier, so it has like a little bit of like a stickiness to it that this obviously doesn't have. So if I had to pick between the two, I'm gonna go with the Rare Beauty, but it's not my favorite because I do have to powder, otherwise I'm a little too oily. The concealer, absolutely great. I love this concealer. It is buildable. The first time I used it, I wasn't really convinced of that, but the more I've used it, I do feel like it is a buildable formula, and I really, really enjoy that. The Liquid Illuminizer, blah, 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 Illuminizer. Beautiful, stunning, stunning, stunning product. I want it in every shade, even the ones that aren't going to match me. I absolutely love this. This is hands down beat my Charlotte Tilbury Hollywood Flawless Filter situation. I love, love, love that. For all you girls out there who are giving up on highlighter, don't give up on highlighter. I just recommend liquid highlighters. I have Milani ones. I have so many different highlighters that you can put under your foundation that will give you a beautiful glow without looking like, you know, one of those guys with the like with the light reflectors that go running at night. You won't look like that, but you'll have a beautiful glow when you turn your head in the light. It's gonna sneak out from underneath your makeup, and that is definitely one. And you can layer it on top of your makeup if you want to get more of a, you know, intense look. The blush, beautiful. I got it in the shade Love. I really want to go back and get the shade Bliss. This is what the shade Love looks like. I don't want to like, there we go. It's beautiful. It's absolutely stunning. It blends out gorgeously. I am obsessed with that. And then the lipstick, I like the packaging more than I like the product. The product's not bad, but it's kind of like the same situation as the Pat McGrath lip things. They're a little bit drier for like a hydrating lip situation. They do eventually go on nice, but I feel like I got in the shade Thankful. I do feel like you can get this at the drugstore better. It's cheaper, and yeah. There's nothing wrong with it. I just think you can get it better. This NYX Mineral Veil, I'm still playing with it. I don't think it's groundbreaking, but I just wanted to try it. 42 minutes later, I'm actually done talking about all this stuff. I'm really going to try my best to not go crazy in the next few months, because there's really not a need. I have excess of things. I just enjoy trying things, and I want to make nice content for you guys. But most of the things, in pretty much everything in here, I want. Making videos for you guys is just an excuse to buy more. So I'm going to try to contain myself in the next few months, but if there's anything in here that you want me to do a more in-depth video that I haven't done, please let me know in the comments below. I would be more than happy to make more videos, of course. And until next time, thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe. Bye.